Sophie and Nick Tweed-Simmons have been raised by superstar parents who have seen firsthand the pitfalls of the high life and rock stardom, which is one of the reasons celebrity rocker Gene Simmons and former Playmate actor Shannon Tweed instilled some normal into their offspring. You see some of the Simmons-Tweed family dynamics on the A&E reality series, Gene Simmons' Family Jewels, and it is my pleasure to welcome two of the Jewels, Sophie and Nick Tweed-Simmons, to Studio 4 to tell us more.
Hi.
So I suggested that the parents instilled some normal into you too.
You're correct. Definitely.
It seems to be. Went to university,
Yeah.
little English lit
I think
background.
the normalcy is mom's fault.
Yes.
And,
You do think so?
The gratitude and the perspective is maybe dad's doing.
Of
So
course.
Combined, it's good.
It worked out.
Yeah.
But when you're a little bat and your dad's a big star, you know, rocking and rolling, it's got to have some impact on you.
No,
Little
not
bit.
at all.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Not at all, you know. You were
Definitely.
asleep backstage. Well, what we know about rockers often, too, is the kids aren't even there. You're home in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were present for some of the shows, but we didn't go on tour with him when we were little. My mom made sure we finished every sort of schooling we possibly could until we couldn't do any more.
Yeah.
Which is important. Education, education, education. And Dad born in Israel.
Yes.
Have you been back? Have you been to Israel?
You guys
with
have.
Papa?
I went with my parents. She was in college at the time.
I was finishing my
graduated.
finals. I couldn't go.
Right.
And we met our extended family for the first time that we never knew existed.
Yeah.
How fabulous.
And
Aunts and
three
uncles
aunts and
and
an uncle.
cousins.
And cousins that we never knew existed. And Dad kind of knew existed, but didn't really acknowledge. He fell out of favor with his father
Right.
for a while, and he didn't.
Okay.
Like, so.
And before Dad was Gene Simmons, what was his real name?
Chaim
Chaim
Witz.
Of course.
I just spit in the coffee.
Of
I'm
course
sorry.
it was. And
And then
we-
it was Gene Klein. And
Gene
then it was
Klein.
Gene Simmons.
And does he still eat gefilte fish or
No.
we know?
Matzah.
He doesn't really like fish.
little matzah, little
But
gefilte fish, little
matzah,
chopped liver,
cream
as we all
cheese,
do.
bagels, you know.
All of that. When you were little, Sophie, did you want to be a singer, a dancer, a snowboarder, or
I mean,
what?
I think every little girl wants to be a singer, but
movie
star.
or a movie
Snowboarder.
star, snowboarder. But no, I didn't really want to pursue it, and I'm still kind of reluctant to pursue singing as a career. It's nice when we do things like this together because it's
Yeah.
fun and it keeps the fun in it. But I think when people get into a career, it's too serious.
It is serious. It's a lot of work, I hear tell. So, how did it start?
We sang at a
Blank.
parents' wedding, and Howard Blank was in attendance and liked what he saw and decided to bring us up.
We
And the
kind of
last
came
one,
up with the idea of this.
yeah, it was
Howard
it's his
Blank from
brainchild.
River Rock.
Yes.
Yeah, and it did well last time, so we're moving to a bigger venue this time.
Why was Howard at the wedding?
I think he did some
Friend
sort
of someone's.
My-
business with Dad, I
Yeah.
think, like a meet and greet event with him, and
Okay.
then he's just such a nice person.
He's actually the only businessman or anything that I've ever seen Dad compliment verbally.
Yes.
Which is really
Really?
something else. He never gives anybody their due.
He
really.
always
Just-
says, Howard, you're always so on top of it.
it's
And,
like, I have
and we
no
were
criticism for you.
shocked when we
Like,
heard
what
that.
did you just say? Who are you? What have you done with my
Gee.
father?
Yeah.
Yeah, and as you know, Howard is a booker.
He
Like he
Oh,
gets
yeah.
the good
He
gigs
gets
coming to the
Robin
River
Williams
Rock.
is playing in the next week on the same venue we're doing.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is honorable.
Would you like to open for Robin Williams or,
I don't know if we would fit really. but-
well,
The jokes that come afterward would not
true,
be.
but you write comic books, right?
I did one. Yeah.
One.
Yeah. Back I was like 17 or 18. It was a while back. Yeah.
Just a child prodigy. No big
Of
deal.
course, yeah. Was it published? Did anybody buy it?
Yeah.
It did all right. There was some controversy around it. I got accused of plagiarism for a while.
Oh, that's not good.
The artist I was accused of plagiarizing, he tweeted something along the lines of like, "I'm less concerned with whether or not he plagiarized me, and more concerned with this American kid who likes Japanese comics. Interesting." But I cut it off at the head there when people accused me of that because the person I was accused of ripping off, I idolized. I loved his art, and that was the similarity. I wanted to draw just like him. And when I saw that people thought I was, boo-ha-ha, I'm gonna rip this guy off, I thought, no, I love his art. I want to be just like him. So I kind of just cut it off there.
That's the end. Call the lawyer.
No, nothing happened actually. There was no legal anything. They didn't press anything. We talked to them. We said, hey, listen, we didn't mean anything by it.
It's kind of the same concept of what we're doing now, singing covers. We're just honoring the bands that we love.
Well, it's less like that. I mean, I understood where the people came from. If I saw someone that was ripping off something I really liked or I perceived it as that, I'd get angry too.
Right.
I don't hold it against anybody.
No, but you can sing a little Tony Bennett-like song or an Etta James or something like that and not be ripping them off.
Well, if
Honoring
we're talking
them,
about
really.
music. I mean,
Yeah.
you look at anything Led Zeppelin has done. They've been accused of hundreds of things they've ripped off blatantly, and it was because they loved those guys so much. They loved bluesmen,
Sure.
and they just didn't give credit or didn't think about it while they were doing it. And
And you know, we grow up with all these melodies and these notes in our head. And if you were composing,
Well, if you idolize somebody, you want to be just
Exactly,
like them.
and
And there's a
you-
line between that you sometimes cross
Sure.
between homage.
and then you get a
and-
call from Sting and he says, you know, I
That's
wrote
my
that
song,
song. That's my song. It rings familiar.
Someone was accused of ripping off Dad.
Yeah.
Was it Springsteen? I think.
I think
Really?
something
He
like
did
that,
The
a
yeah.
Boss?
song. Yeah, there was this. Released an album a couple years back. It was a song called Outlaw Pete's.
Yes.
And he was accused of ripping off a song called I Was Made for Loving You. And it was. And Dad was like, "Yeah, that's our song." He's like, "Are you gonna do anything about it?" And he goes, "No, I've ripped tons of people off." no, I'm not gonna press
Not on
charges.
purpose.
No, not-
Accidentally on purpose, but it just makes sense because it rings in your head.
That's the biggest form of flattery, I think.
Sure, absolutely. Now tell me about Mom, because as I was reading through the bio, Hugh Hefner could have been your
Could have
dad.
been. Oh yeah.
Maybe.
Could have been.
Cooper Hefner and I always joke, brothers from other mothers. And yeah.
Exactly. Well, my friend, we were gossiping in the back. We might as well share. My friend Kim Conrad married Hugh Hefner and had
Yeah.
those boys.
Yes.
And they're your friends?
They've gone
Yes.
to the same
The
school
Hefner
we've gone
kids?
to since
Our whole lives, yeah.
our
Really?
whole
We've known him
lives,
since we were
How
very
great.
little.
Did they, do you see them in British Columbia because they come up here, go to
they?
Hornby
I've
Island?
never seen them up here.
I didn't
Only
know
ever
I
in
didn't know
LA.
they came up here. That's fun.
Because
Yeah.
Kim returns home occasionally with the boys. I haven't seen Hef for a while.
I don't
Guess
think
he's
he's
a little
coming.
busy.
Yeah.
Doing
Got a lot of
stuff.
stuff going on there. Who knows?
Did Mom talk to you about that, about Playboy and Playmate?
She
and-
was very, she would use the car
Guess she
rides to
had to.
school as kind of like, you're trapped, I get to talk to you about things you need to know in life. And so we'd be in the car trapped listening to her tell these stories. And of course they have a lesson, but it was stories about Hef, it was stories about her in the mansion, stories of her acting, and we're just sitting there mortified middle schoolers going to school. And we're just happy to get out of the car, but it was cool to hear all the stories.
And not tell a soul.
Right.
Days of Our Lives. She was in Days of Our Lives.
She was.
See, I watched the Y and the R, but I know she was in Days
Yeah.
for a while, and she's still acting. And
Yeah.
You know, there's a funny story about Days of Our Lives. Someone in the supermarket came up to her when she was on that show and said, I didn't like what you did to Dave or whatever. She goes, that's a character. Someone wrote that for me. His name isn't Dave. And he said, well, I didn't like it. It's like, that's not
Well.
real. It's
Oh,
not
I know,
real.
but it's difficult. My grandmother was a General Hospital fan, and when she lived alone and was very old, she'd write me letters about Jessie Brewer.
Oh.
And I'd think, who's Jessie Brewer?
Right.
Was she a neighbor? And then I think, no, she's the woman on General Hospital.
Yep.
Right? But she'd say, Jessie did this and Jessie did that, and who knew? Who
gets
knew?
real.
So, this show you're on, what season? 7?
7.
7, yeah.
The Family Jewels?
Technically, in terms
7.
of episode count, I think it's 8 or something, but they combined 2 seasons or something. But it's 7, yeah.
And last year was a titch turbulent. The parents tied the knot.
Yeah.
Finally.
And this year really
On the
started off
precipice.
kind of rough too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first episode, we don't get to see it right until it airs because it's the surprise and they
I don't
just
watch it anyway.
Film us.
You don't?
I do not.
No, we
ever.
try not to.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
like hearing your own voice recorded or just seeing it. If I watch it, I would either get a huge head or get really insecure, and either way, it's not. I would just rather be blissfully ignorant. Yeah.
I understand that. Even watching,
You ever hear your own voice
This
recorded
small
for the
show.
first time after a while, and you go, "Is that what I sound like?" It's like that, but multiplied by 1,000.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's very scary. When I first started, I was in radio long before television, and you do your first commercial.
And of course,
Yes.
there's some odd fashion choices I had in high school.
That too.
are Rerun.
And you're going, God, am I that annoying?
How many
all the
beads
time?"
did I wear when I was 18 around my? What? You're not Hendrix. What are you doing?
But do they script you on this show?
No.
Do you
No.
get a little, it's all
Never.
just free fall?
They'll be like, hey, we got this free trip to Mexico. Do you want to go? And we'll be like, yeah, we'll
It's
go
like
to
we'll
Mexico.
set some stuff up for you guys to, we'll do some
We'll
stuff.
organize some kite flying.
And we
whatever.
try to,
We go.
when we're
Yeah.
together, we try to tell them we're going to be together because that's what they like to see. Is
Sure.
that we're together, and we try to tell them when we're going to do something interesting. Hey, we're going to this. We're going to this. Do you guys want to shoot this? And then they'll-
Okay,
yeah.
because as you know so well, and every child knows, we parents embarrass you. We
Yep.
always have,
You don't
we
say.
always will. My girls have told me that forever. From the time they were little, Mother, Mom,
You get the elbow and you're like, stop it.
I know,
Stop.
like,
Stop it.
oh my God, Mom.
My father
You know-
talks about how he cut my umbilical cord in
Yes,
front of women
all the time.
I date. Like
All the
I'm on a
time.
No.
He's like, hey, these are my
He's
parents.
like, I got
you
to
know,
cut
I
it.
cut his umbilical cord. Why would you say that to anyone ever in the
do.
history of time?
I know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to date this woman.
Exactly.
And just the picture of it.
Dad, not
you know.
helping. Not helping.
He's just
Not
proud of
helping.
it. He's proud.
Well, how about
right
when
there?
I saw the episode when you got the belly button ring.
Oh, yes.
How long ago was
Well,
that?
I was
A while
16.
Ago.
That's
I
all
think.
healed up, isn't it?
Right. They always get infected.
And I was
You know,
blonde.
That's
Yes.
right.
We hate watching old
remember.
episodes. My God. Can you imagine? I'm sure everyone went through awkward teen years.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
you imagine having yours rerun every once in a while?
No.
No. To
No.
everyone? My God. Some of the stuff I wore.
We weren't as awkward as we could have been. It could have been way worse.
I was.
No.
I was completely just as awkward as possible.
Let me be awkward.
No, it was the worst.
Now, the normal part of your life, I said you're all normaled up. So, any aspirations to be a teacher, a scientist,
Teacher?
architect?
Teacher, actually.
He wants to be a teacher.
I'm eventually, I'm putting it off a little bit because we're doing this, and I want to, but I'm going to eventually get my teaching degree,
Oh, great.
certificate. Yeah.
Field of choice?
Writing or English. Yeah.
English
I
lit.
majored in English and World Lit in college.
And did you
I
read
kinda
a
wanna-
lot as a kid?
Yeah.
And escape for
A
you?
lot of niche stuff, but yes, I love. My favorite author is Neil Gaiman. Just as anyway, look him up.
Yeah.
It's good.
What does he write?
There's a book called American Gods that he wrote, which is my favorite book, and yeah.
Okay, my favorite book, Confederacy of Dunces.
That's
Got it.
fun.
God, that's a fun book. And you?
I kind of want to go into charity work, anything philanthropic. We just opened a center for children in Surrey called Sophie's Place.
I knew this, Doctor. Now I've made her a doctor. She's the mayor. Diane Watts. Well, she fell off her horse and needed a doctor, so there you are. Maybe that's it. The
Got
brain's
it.
not working.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mayor Watts. How great.
Yeah.
Why that?
Actually, Mayor Watts had this in production kind of and approached me because she needed kind of a sponsor and a face for it and a way to get it in the media. And I've always worked with children. It's the only kind of charity work I've really done, besides breast cancer walks and things that
Right.
everyone does. But she approached me. She said, I have a center. It's for abused children to go. It's where you can talk to a psychiatrist, a police officer, a doctor, all in one building so we're not shuffling kids around. I thought that's a fantastic idea. It doesn't exist, and we need it.
Right.
Isn't she awful? She's the worst,
She's
isn't
just
she?
I'm an
awful. Yeah.
awful
She
You are a
uses-
burden on
She
society.
uses her celebrity
For
to
such
like
awful things.
raise money for great causes, and I'm not sure.
Incorrigible. Yeah, it's disgusting.
Incorrigible, exactly. So the performance itself, I know you were a little nervous. I think Mr. Blank told me that. You didn't appear nervous
Oh, yeah.
on
I'm
stage, but when
always
you played at the
nervous.
Lulu's the last time you were here, you were having a few jitters because you hadn't done a lot of it.
Is that,
Right.
is that what the review said?
That's what
I
the
said.
review said.
That's what I said.
Really? I think you did. I think that's what I read.
Yeah,
Well, who isn't any great performer? Dad
I-
would tell you this, I'm sure.
Wait.
If you don't have the butterflies, you're not,
You're not doing it right.
a little rushed.
I can't even speak in front of a classroom.
Really?
Like, it's hard for me to get the words out, and I
Really?
start, nervous sweating, and I
I'm
get
about to pass
hot.
out right now.
And it's
I can tell.
this is
You're a
easy because
wreck.
it's you and
just-
me, and like cameras we're used to. But being in front of all the people who are watching you, that's different.
And the
done
pressure
that.
saying,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
it's Gene Simmons' kids. And
Yeah. Well, yes,
He can
there's
sing.
always that. Thanks for
don't
reminding
know
me.
about them.
The nepotism aspect is not lost on me. We get the people going, why are they up there, really?
Yeah,
And so
because
we try
they're
to put them in-
related.
And people always go, "Oh, you're trying singing. Oh, how original."
It's like,
But
listen, it's fun, relax.
a lot of people like singing.
Yeah. Well, and those LA clubs are tough, and the LA scene is
are.
tough, as you know.
good
You've been
practice, though.
there.
Yeah.
It is
Good practice. So not a future in this. Well, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe. If it happens, it happens.
The big agent comes
would
and
only-
says,
I would only do it if I thought the songs I wrote were good enough. And I've written a lot. I have a band. I've done stuff, but I'm not going to release it because I don't think it's good enough. Honestly,
Okay.
I think it's fun. If I think there's something that I really hit something and I found the right guys, maybe.
when you're ready to go, you'll go.
Well, and maybe not. Who knows?
And maybe not. There's always a maybe not. So tomorrow night, River Rock Casino, you're also going to do Jackie Cohen's fabulous fundraiser, Face the
Yes.
World. You should see the house.
We
saw
saw
it.
the house.
You've been.
Can I live there?
Well, yes.
It's
So can
amazing.
I. Ask Jackie. We'll talk.
We'll have sleepovers.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for getting
Thanks
up.
so much.
I know it's hard for entertainers to get up so early.